On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
There's a lot of news in the world today.
News that might surprise you, startle you, upset, or maybe impress.
News that's not always for the faint of heart.
That's why the man who failed his way to success, Heath Oakes, is stepping up.
Tackling today's headlines with ignorance on fire in a way only a millennial mogul can.
Take off your sport coat, grab a beer, and enjoy the conversation.
This is Second Shot with your host, Heath Oakes.
The jacket's about to have to come off because I have a feeling this segment today, this show is going to be fire. The 2 topics we got today, we were all getting really kind of, the levels, the volume levels got really elevated really, really fast in here. So better hang on and get ready for this one. It's going to be interesting. We got Zach and Josh in the house.
Hey.
Hello, sir.
What's up? Josh figured out his
Good
microphone.
job, Josh.
Great. And,
well done.
And we got Joel Toigo back for another
everybody.
week as a guest on the show.
Glad to be here. A lot of fun.
And I wasn't kidding. The jacket's really coming off because it is.
Oh, man.
Gosh.
Gosh.
It is kind of hot.
Our viewers on YouTube get something to say. Check this out.
Brown chicken, brown.
You know, I was going to do that, Heath, but I chose
listen,
to not.
when you edit this show, you have to get a little music going with that.
I got a little something going.
That'll be funny. So how was everybody's week?
That was all right. How was yours?
Mine was great. Yeah, we're getting past the first part of January is always a grind because there's tons of meetings and tons of kickoff stuff, and it's all behind us. And so now it's just time to actually just go sell.
I know last time we introed the show, you started with a farmhouse song.
Oh, I got many good
I was going to say, how are those going? You still
Oh.
got a bunch of those rattling around?
Oh, yeah, I got them all memorized. I mean, that's all we do all day is play about, welcome to our learning house. We have much to show you.
Yeah.
I can sing all of them clear as day.
Why is it when I'm trying to
nursery
think of
rhymes
a kid song, I'm thinking there's so much drama in the LBC,
That doesn't make a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
no, but my...
No, so
I might just be telling on myself.
Yeah, your kids are sitting there rapping at like 2, which is okay. It's good. I like rap.
He can beatbox.
Yeah.
So we gotta get to these segments, especially this first one too. Is gonna be. I mean, they're both gonna be good. But this is gonna be fire today. So you better hold on to your britches, everybody, as we say in these sections.
They call them britches.
Yeah.
Please keep all hands inside the vehicle. Yes, the first headline: Can landlords change the rules in mid-lease? We got this from our man Joel over
Hey,
here.
what's
yeah,
up?
first
Yeah.
article on the show. It's a big step.
Hey.
The question is, I guess the story is in the spring of 2014, a news story about a landlord in California garnered a lot of attention. Landlords had sent tenants a notice that each said tenant needed to prove that their income was at or above a certain amount and have a certain credit score, or else they'd have to move out. Mid-lease. I live in an apartment, right? I've rented before. I coming out of college is something I've been doing. I need to move into a place. We talked about that on our show once. I know Heath's got his arms up like, what are you doing?
I thought you'd have a duplex by now.
But it's true. But
I'm gonna find you one.
Please do. Honestly,
I'm gonna find you one.
We should talk about this off the air. As far as income goes, oftentimes at certain apartment complexes, you have to say, hey, here's how much I make, provide a couple of pay stubs, just so they know you've got income coming in, you can continue to pay the rent. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a story of a tenant checking in mid-lease without any notice, as far as I understand, saying, hey, you better be making that, and if you're not, you're out. Mm-hmm. That's that.
And the kicker here is the changing the rules midstream, right?
That's the whole point, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it talking about with it jobs and with it home and stuff. And I thought Josh had a really good little kind of a quick story on a work environment of it. I think you need to tell them.
Oh, I was talking about like when you change your perceptions of what you think you're getting into.
Yeah.
And I've had friends before that have had jobs, maybe right out of college, took a job as a receptionist. And then during that job, they realized, you know what, I have a college degree. And the gratitude they had for having employment kind of went away. And now it was the anger they had about answering phones and sending emails and getting coffee and those kind of things when they have a college degree. And so my question to them always was, well, what changed? Like, did you
know you were getting that?
Yeah.
Is this not the job that you signed up for? Did they not have a clear, order of like what your responsibilities were?
bet they
and those
did.
and they did. But again, your perception of what you thought had changed. That gratitude went away, and that's when you get anger.
And I guarantee you that type of person, for instance, that's the thing is they don't just become unhappy with their job. They typically become poison to everybody and everyone around. They typically, if somebody else is happy, they're going to be miserable for too long because they're going to make everybody miserable when they knew the rules that they signed up for.
Right.
And see, I got different examples of that. For instance, I've hired an assistant who had a college degree and all this and started off as an assistant with me and was super good, super positive, went above and beyond. And next thing you know, they got a role within 2 years that was double that pay and more responsibility to move up through everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not impossible, but guess what? That person wasn't. They were not a negative Nancy. They weren't poison. They were grateful.
And they probably didn't hang around people that were that way, too.
Absolutely.
These seething, angry people, the mindset of woe is me, it's everyone against me versus I can control my own destiny. It's
But what do you
complete
got
outlook.
around some of the changing rules mid-game?
I go personal with that.
Yeah.
Because I think in all fairness, I'm sharing this is funny. So my mom used to say, Joel, if you ever marry a lady and I'm just going to throw a number. I'm 200 pounds, and I'm 260. She's like, I don't think that's fair. You sold them a bill of goods. Like, it is your job as a spouse to make sure you're maintaining what you sold them.
Yeah.
Right?
So what you're saying is if you married them at 200, then all of a sudden you
Josh,
got
what's
to
going on?
260.
Hey, I'm not
over
trying to
there.
throw sticks at anybody.
Yeah.
But you get the idea.
It's just an illustration.
It's just an illustration.
Yeah.
But you think about it, like if I married my wife, now here I'm very fortunate. I married my wife. When we met, I was broke.
Yeah.
I had nothing. So I knew, like, when she said, no, I think you're going to be back, I thought she was crazy as anything. But she knew that I would do it again. She knew I would go as hard and as fast as I could to get where we needed to go, and she supported me. Now, if I said, I think I'm just going to relax, we wouldn't be together because my wife didn't meet somebody that was sorry and lazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's one thing if you have a set standard that you live by or that you're selling to your spouse or even at your work.
But you would say, I mean, see, I can argue both sides because I believe
can.
the rules need if you know what you're signing up for, you got it. But then, especially in a marriage, I look at it and go, that's a lifetime. You're going to evolve. So
Absolutely.
you got to ebb and flow with it.
But you had a key word there, evolve.
Yes. Both parties evolve.
Correct.
Yes.
But in that situation, if it's
But don't be upset that if all of a sudden you can't just get, if you got somebody who's a risk, who was a risk taker that all of a sudden is not, and you're getting upset real quick, you got to understand, give it time. That's evolved.
if they grow
right?
into it, that's one thing.
But even in the work world, we talk about a lot with rules that change. You got to, I think it's always that if you think about it and you're getting unhappy or any of those things, you got to look back and go, look, what did I sign up for?
Right.
How did I take this accountability myself, right? And that, stop trying to change the rules mid-game. If you sign on for something, don't all of a sudden, and here's what happens, though, is they'll try to figure out rules that changed on them to justify it.
Or you could even see it in sports the past few years.
Yep.
What rules changed on the gridiron?
Yep.
A little tiny rule that people hate the rule, but it's the rule. At least everybody plays by the rule, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So you know the rule.
Yep.
You got a couple options. If I'm in sports and I'm coaching or I'm playing and I don't like the rule, guess what? There's always soccer.
Yep. Yeah. Very true. Very true.
You may not like it. What you going to do? You're going to ruin your entire career?
Yep.
You're going to, it's I heard
You have the ego and keep getting fined and taking
right.
money, or just
Well,
go by the rule.
what's the point?
Yeah.
So I saw this meme, whatever the heck that means, I don't know, but I saw a meme, and it basically said if you have a setback and you just throw your hands in the air and say, I'm just tired of this, it's like you have one flat tire and you just decide to go flatten the other four for general purposes.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, that's true. It
So
doesn't.
change the rules.
Yeah.
Get the spare, go somewhere else. You don't like the car, you don't like what it came with, buy a different car.
Yep.
But it's not immediate.
Yeah,
It's-
and you can't change the rules in your current situation.
No.
And I can tell you this, the quickest ways for those rules not to change on you is to be a negative Nancy and a poison around everything and to be ungrateful for what you have.
I think he said it right.
Yeah.
Is the gratefulness that she had a job.
Yes.
You signed up for it. You said yes.
She signed
you
up for it because she couldn't find a job.
right,
with
and
her
then you were
college degree.
thankful. And how many people? I have so many employers that I've talked to. They said people can't get jobs. They come get hired here. It was hotel industry. They come get hired here, and within 6 months they have another job.
Yeah.
Right? It's take one, launch.
Yep.
Launch, but do it the very best you can. She had a great culture, great people, but just launch. And I think his thing is perfect. You got to be grateful for where you are. You got to. Yeah, it is going to suck.
Yes.
It does
But
that
again,
sometimes.
it was like my example is that I had somebody that took that job and it progressed their career.
Exactly.
Because they were super positive, they were grateful for it, and they were not entitled.
That is a very, very key word.
Yeah.
Not entitled. I'm owed something, and reality is you're not owed any. You're not even owed a breath. So.
But what about one of the ones that will try to justify the rules have been changed on them to be okay with changing the rules? You know, how many? That's what they do.
Or like the landlord.
Yeah.
Here were my rules, and somehow financially, I didn't do a good business deal. Somehow financially, I'm getting stuck here. I screwed up. So now I'm just going to put it on the people who live in my in my units.
And in my opinion, that'll come back to that person.
Oh, it absolutely will.
You made a mistake. You got to own it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to own that.
Oh, yeah.
It may be a big financial, but you got to own your mistake and not do it again. It's very
See, he
simple.
could have said, "Hey, coming up in the next year, by this particular date,
this is
have
going
some
to happen,
adjustments.
just so you know.
Here's
so
such and such. Yeah.
Go ahead and start looking if you ain't gonna be able to afford it, but this is what's changing.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's
Not,
fair.
Hey, by the way, I need it by the end
But
of the
now
week.
his
You're out.
now his word is worth nothing. Now
nothing
his word
whatsoever.
should be worth nothing. And what I want to challenge everybody with is, let's get back to a place where word means something. Where
That would be
keeping your
awesome.
word actually means more than what your credit score is. Keeping your word means more than what your bank account is. Go back to the old days where, you know what, I can look at that man or woman that I can look, that you should be that person that people go, look, if you do business with that man or woman, they keep their word. That should be one of the top priorities. I mean, I'm going to instill that in my daughter, that keeping her word should be one of her top priorities. It's important. It's imperative to do what you say you're going to do, because when you do what you say you're going to do, your confidence is built in yourself. As a podcast earlier talked about, you do what you say you're going to do. You keep the promises to yourself,
it's
and
funny
your
you sent me
confidence
that.
starts coming up. And so, let's take this into this world. Do what you say you're going to. Keep the promise to yourself, and then you keep the word to the people, and stop trying to change the rules. We'll be back in a minute. We'll come to the second segment of Second Shot. And I promise you, it even gets better next.
Oh, it does. It gets way better.
He's a suit and tie kind of guy with deep Southern roots. Keith Oakes hosts more of Second Shot coming up on RNCN.
Hear ye, hear ye. Great news for all of you guys. Colonial Life is hiring some salespeople from all over the country. No matter where you are in the United States of America, if you're looking for a sales career, if you want to just learn more about what Colonial Life does, send an email to mbeltran@coloniallife.com, mbeltran@coloniallife.com. We'll get you set up with the right people you need to talk to and see if you're going to win that job. If you're in the Metroplex area, great. If you're in St. Louis, great. We're going to have office there for you. mbeltran@coloniallife.com, and change your career today.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
So we're going to have to do something a little different because, as everybody's fully aware, I'm not the best wordsmith in the world. During this segment, there's a name that I cannot pronounce. What I'm going to do is I'll just maybe talk midstream, and then I'm just going to point at Zach, and you'll just hear Zach come in with the word, because Zach's much smarter and he can say it well, because I can't pronounce this at all.
Believe it or not, I took a semester of Japanese in college.
Really?
One semester, and then I immediately switched to Spanish. That's
Had a feeling in Texas.
I made a
Spanish.
B. I didn't fail. I worked hard. I made it happen. But yeah, it's too much for me. Anyway, the headline for this segment is Bitcoin drops below $10,000. $30 billion value wiped in a day as cryptocurrency sell-off deepens. Cryptocurrency, not something we've covered on this show before.
Nope.
And Heath is very anxious to talk about it.
So just to give you, there's a lot of you probably trying to understand cryptocurrency. Understand this. The dollar bill you have in your hand works the exact same way as a Bitcoin does if people take it, right? This dollar bill, this is a faith-based deal, right? Like if the government decided tomorrow to wipe out every single piece of dollar and say that the dollar bills are worth nothing anymore, that money's worth nothing.
Right.
Correct.
But the government's the one who makes that decision. So it's all faith-based. Same thing with cryptocurrency, except for a little minor detail is that everybody in the world takes our money.
Right.
Not everybody will take cryptocurrency, which
Right.
basically nobody does. I think you can order pizza with it or something right now. But
It's a lot of people.
Overstock.com accepts Bitcoin.
the
in the US.
person-
Really?
That's it. That's the only one.
the person who created Bitcoin,
Satoshi Nakamoto.
that's the part where Zach's going to come in
Got
on,
it.
because obviously
Yeah.
that's something I can't say. He is a figment of everybody's imagination. Nobody knows who he is. And so obviously he created a blockchain type thing that could trade it to where I mean, it's no different than back in the day whenever there was, say, nothing but gold, silver, and stuff that people would go to market and they would trade gold, silver, they would trade food,
Furs.
they would trade furs, they trade whatever they could, and that was all currency, okay? So this Bitcoin is the same similar deal. And so people who are really into the Bitcoin originally is because they're tired of the government, which the government in the financial crisis in the last recession, I agree, let us all down, okay? There's a lot of people who should be in jail right now, I believe, with it all. I get it. But these other people saying, I want something where nobody controls it. It's just us instead. So these bankers can't do whatever. So great. Somebody who nobody knows who it is created some kind of system somewhere that y'all got some mythical stuff getting traded around somewhere.
Mythical.
And you trust that. No, I'm not saying I trust our government fully.
Right.
But I do trust this.
They have a track record this gentleman does not have.
100%, yes.
It may be a bad one, but it is a track record.
And a small detail is everybody takes this right now.
Right.
Like that's the biggest thing. Like everybody's going, oh, I'm worth $10 million because I got these Bitcoin. Who the hell's going to buy them? What are you going to go buy? You find somebody who's going to take that $10 million worth of Bitcoin.
But what you're talking about, if I have $10 million worth of Bitcoin and like the title rate, I mean, it's losing.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it's going down
losing.
right now big time. But
So that's why they have to attach suicide hotlines to these things.
they got suicide
in the article.
hotlines.
Right.
They have suicide hotlines.
Because people all in on something they didn't know everything about.
Well, it had like a meteoric rise in November. It
Yeah.
got real big.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I remember
It's
seeing
got
it
massive.
on Money, CNN sites, whatever. Like, yeah, everybody was talking about Bitcoin. Now it's starting to slide off. Like everything does. Yeah, it goes up, it goes down. Chips are up, chips are down. So, yeah, we end up with this position where people are like, oh, I'm losing everything in this digital imaginary currency that isn't a real tangible thing. You can't hold it in your hand.
Now, I want everybody to understand something. Do I think that this could be just as traded as our dollar bills one day? Hey, I actually think it's a possibility.
Sure.
I think
do
it's a
too.
possibility at one point or another that this could be. I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't have any of my money in it, and I'm not going to because I don't know who this
Satoshi Nakamoto?
guy is.
Got it.
And somebody's got to have a plug somewhere that can pull a chain on all these things. I don't understand it enough to do it. And so I go back to this, is scared money don't make money. And so when people will ask me about investing and stuff and where do you go with it, I'm going to tell you, I made my money in the insurance business. I started selling insurance, and I did well at that. I learned real estate, really simple things, which is buying a home that I could afford to pay for, that people would want to rent out, that it would make a profit. It was a very simple thing for me to grasp. I learned it, and that's where I put it in, and that built me up a lot of wealth, insurance and my real estate. Since then, I have invested into like a restaurant and a bar, right? Now, understand this is the money I put into that, the restaurant and bar is probably the most volatile business in the world.
Yep.
100% not a safe investment. But the money I invested in it, I was 100% okay with losing. I had zero fear tied to that money that I put in it. I looked at it as an education. I wanted to learn. And if it made it, great. If it didn't, I wasn't going broke.
Right.
It happens to be doing very well. I got lucky. I got a right person there. He does awesome. And they run it. It's awesome. I'm learning a lot about it, but scared money don't make money.
Well,
don't go invest all your life savings in something you can't understand.
Well, that's a key point. So I've talked to a few people, investors. I'm looking at business opportunities. I'm talking to guys, and the consistent theme that I heard was, "Hey, it sounds like you're excited about this idea. Here's what I know, and I'm going to stick to what I know."
Yes.
So it doesn't mean that you can't go be creative, but you got to learn a lot before you. And none of these guys, if they ventured, the smart ones, if they ventured into Bitcoin, they didn't put their entire life savings in there.
I guarantee some idiots did.
Well,
of course, that's why.
Yeah,
that's why there's
anything
suicide hotline.
ever, right?
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
There's an argument to that too, and that is if you're educated enough, it's not as risky as you think it is. It's when you
guess.
don't know something that it's risky.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Right. So this is new. So for those, like I think to your point, those who can give some money and say, I'm not scared of this. If I lose it, I'm okay. Those are the people that are going to make that thing go.
Right.
It's not going to be the people who need the suicide hotline who said this is the greatest thing because it came up. Oh, I got in too late. I missed it. So let me leverage everything I got.
But if you're going to go all in on something, you better be the one making it happen, right? So if I was going to go all in on that bar, that would be my full-time job. I would be there hustling it all up.
Kind of like our
myself.
career.
Yes.
The reason I made it, I didn't know everything about it, but I knew I could control the outcome.
And you
I just
went
had to
all in.
learn. And I went all in. Of my time, of my effort, not of my
and every bit of money you had,
and
yeah,
every
'cause
bit
you
of
had to
money
stay
I had.
afloat, yeah.
But I knew I could
Yeah.
control it. If
Right.
it failed, it's my fault.
Entrepreneurship, people think it's a free fall. It's not.
No.
You can control your descent.
can.
That's the difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas this, is a
If
little bit
you
more.
know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah. You got to know yourself, self-awareness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the kicker is that when I look at it all, I get people that will ask a lot about all these different investment things. They want to get it. Look, a restaurant and a bar is not something I would tell somebody to go jump off in unless you know a lot about the restaurant business. It is the most volatile. It's a risky business. Is there an upside? Yes. But I wouldn't have done it if the money that I put in it, I wasn't willing to be okay with losing. You need to start out in those areas that you know and see. Like, I don't want to miss the Bitcoin crash. You know what? Miss it. If you don't have the wealth built up and you don't have the money to do it, you need to miss it.
Right.
You need to go to the focus on what it is. Look, I barely graduated high school. I mean, hell, I can still barely read and write today. You know what I started doing? Looking at Zillow's, Realtor.com, studying a little market, figuring out how much that house sold for to how much they rent for. There's a little common sense, this thing called Google. And I said, I'm going to buy this $40,000 house, put $20,000 in it, because I can afford to do that. I can pay for it, and then it would rent out for $850 a month. Boom, I did that first one, and guess what? I learned a lot. The next one I did. It took time, 10, 11 years of overdoing this.
The time thing, so I wonder how many people who invested in the Bitcoin and are having to use this hotline, how many of them were the ones that were looking for the sure thing, the silver bullet, the magic that could get them to where
get rich quick.
Like skip all the things. Like these people that are wealthier have made it any degree of success. You could be in our business and you're a great appointment setter. Well, you stunk at setting appointments at some point. There wasn't this, I just happened to magically be able to learn what to say, how to say it, be credible in the marketplace, and set a whole bunch. I mean, there's
if
no
it wasn't
skip.
For that journey.
Right. There's no way to skip it. You're not good until you mess up.
Yeah.
So I think there are a lot of people, I mean, to me, that's one of the biggest lessons is there's not a shortcut.
Yep.
It sounds great. I'm going to miss this. I mean, I've done it as a kid. You know, you go, oh, man, Mom, if I just did this, there'll be another one.
Yep.
But this is the best truck, Mom. I could go hot.
There's always another.
I can afford a $300 a month. I couldn't afford $100 at the time. I could afford $300. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No. You will destroy yourself.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and I just remember Mom, you know, she'd say, son, you don't need it yet. Slow down. And I think that advice, especially in the success principles, slow down.
And I'm telling you, this is preaching to myself. I am the king of shiny object syndrome. Okay? Listen, I went through a part of a 3-4 year period that if I could get back all the money that I lost on all these deals, I was going to be the next venture capitalist of the world, right?
Right.
And I realized after losing on all of those deals, none of them working out for me, that holy shit, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to lose any more money anymore. I'm going to stick to what I know. What gave me the money to do that is insurance and real estate. I'm going back to that. I'm going back to my basics.
And doesn't mean you can't learn something new.
No,
but you have to learn first.
I can learn. I've learned a lot more now because I lost a lot in that area. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a big, it was a very hard learning pain period. So I would tell you guys that I'm not hating on Bitcoin. I'm not saying that I think it's a complete joke. I think it's laughable right now that so many getting into it. And I think it's a long ways from being something that is real and tangible as what our dollar is. And, you know, but I will say, if you have money that ain't scared money, heck, go throw it in if you want to.
Why not?
But if you got money that you can't stand to lose, I would not be putting my money into any. Well, I don't care if you can lose it or not. If you can't understand it, don't invest in it.
Right.
Stick to the basics. Learn one thing. Invest your money in that, whether it's you want to learn stocks or you want to learn real estate. Get some of the basic things you can touch and feel before you start getting crazy. Scared money don't make money. Hey, say his name one more time, Zach.
Satoshi Nakamoto.
That was good. You were on point, too. So we're going to be right back for that third segment of Second Shot.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Second Shot with Keith Oakes still to come.
You guys have been listening to Second Shot and hearing us talk about it. You need to go pick up my book, Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. You can get it on Amazon in a paper book. You can also hear this beautiful voice of mine in audiobook style on Audible or anywhere you're going to get your audiobooks. Guys, this book took a lot of time to put into it, and I believe it can really be some life-changing stuff to help you on your path to success. And hopefully you're going to fail your way to success just like I did. Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. Amazon.com, Audible.com, audiobooks, paper books, everything. Get it, share it with your people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Go pick it up today.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
All right, so we're back here at the third segment. We're going to kind of carry the investment talk on to the third segment. Since we don't have any emails, this week. So we're still looking. We're looking for some more emails, guys. Come on now, y'all shoot them our way. Give us a little heads up. But we did get a new review that I think Zach wants to read.
We did. New iTunes review just from a couple days ago from RMW1. That's the username. I don't know what that means, but hey. Enjoy each episode, part of my Monday morning routine. It's like dental floss for the mind, cleaning out the junk in my mind and gets me started on a positive note. Thank you, RMW1.
Wait, okay, so awesome. Kind of going with reviews here. This is something I just reminded myself. I got to really watch my language. I guess I cuss every now and then. And I go into church on Sunday. My pastor goes, "Hey, I'm really liking your podcast." Uh-oh. And then he goes, "You going to keep on cussing out there?" And I'm like laughing. I'm like, oh, crap. So now my pastor watches the show and likes it. So I got to make sure we're really careful. But our pastor is a fan.
You know, I caught a certain something in the last segment. I can clean that up if you want.
Good.
You might need
Put a bleep around it.
Got it. Done.
No, it's fun. And our pastor is really cool. He was literally joking with me, but he's a really cool guy.
You know, you've made it when you got the pastor
across, though.
Yeah. It was one of those joking. Not really.
Right.
Right.
It's a good time. So, yeah.
We're going to carry on the money conversation. What did you ask?
Right. My question was, because I'm young and impressionable. I don't know a whole lot about investing. And so it's one of those things, the stock market I've looked at is like, this was the point I made. I said, I almost look at it like gambling. And two people in the room, Heath and myself, seem to think, yeah, it's kind of true. And two people, Joel and Josh, were like, no, that's not what it is. And so I figured, well, we've got a good dichotomy here. Let's talk about this for a minute. So we talked about it, and then we figured, let's get the mics rolling and talk some more. So the question is, I don't know a lot about the stock market. How is it not like gambling?
Well, how is it
like?
Well, and understand that everything is gambling.
Everything.
I mean,
that's true.
If you start a new business, you're doing it's just what's calculated more than anything. So, like when I go to the casino, if I go to the casino, I'm going purely for entertainment. If I go, I don't go very often. It'll be if it's a group of people there, and if I take the money I take in there, I'm fully that money. I'm expecting
it
gone.
away.
You assume it's gone. It's
because
not scared money.
It's pure. It's not scared money. It's purely a. Entertainment. Like if I bought a concert ticket, right? It's gone when I go to that concert. Same thing. But the game that I play at the casino is blackjack.
Me too.
Because blackjack is the only game at the casino that I do have the most control out of.
And the most knowledge.
Most knowledge and control.
Yep.
The slot machine,
Same
you push
here.
the button, you have no control.
Yeah, none.
Craps, the dice rolls, whatever it wants to, you don't have a control. But blackjack, you can make your calculated if the dealer's sitting on this, the odds tell you X, Y, Z. It's the most. Now, the house still always wins, but that is the most calculated.
Yeah, they wouldn't own a casino if they didn't.
Stock market and everything else, when we talk about the Bitcoin and just knowing your stuff more than anything else, anything is a gamble. The risk of the gamble depends on the knowledge and the non-knowledge that you have is how big that risk is.
Right.
You know?
So
me jumping in the restaurant bar business, that was a big gamble because I had a lot less knowledge in it. Me buying real estate property tomorrow is almost a zero gamble.
Yeah.
I think gamble and risk are they're kind of hand in hand. What's the risk?
Yeah.
And if you don't understand your risk, your gamble is higher. It's a bigger gamble, I would say.
Sure.
So I read a book, I don't know, probably 10 years ago. It's Why We Want You to Be Rich. It was by Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump. And it wasn't about how to get rich. It was why it's important. And people would say, hey, what's your, it's very risky if you went all in on one particular stock or business. And they say, no, it's not, because we know something that everyone else doesn't know.
Right.
Like we have a level of, so they were basically selling learning. Whatever you want to invest in, whatever you want to do for a business, learn as much as you can, because that is the currency of your success.
Sure. Heath gets in his car and he drives to work in the morning. He'll probably make it okay. Puts Brighton behind the wheel. She's probably not going to get very far.
Exactly.
No.
That
Heath
risk
knows how to
is
drive.
much higher.
Right. Because she doesn't know something.
Uh-huh.
And so that, to me, that's the difference between a gamble and non-gamble.
So,
if you're just throwing it out there with no level of knowledge, that is 100% gamble.
Sure.
So I will tell you this, that in my opinion, if you're somebody that doesn't know a whole lot about the market, but let's just say you're sitting there, Zach, and you look up and you got some money in your savings account, right?
Yeah.
And your savings account is making no money at all. And you go, is this setting me behind, right? Because if I just leave it in my savings account making no money, then inflation's going to pass up, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know anything about the stock market either. I would not advise you to go get a Fidelity account to just start trading stock daily.
No.
What I would tell you to do is, number one, there's Tony Robbins, the Mastery of Money book. Mm-hmm. Is one of the best there
Tony
is.
Robbins.
Yes, because it comes from a complete non-biased part throughout the whole book. Like there's an audio book on it, stuff you need to write it down and down the Tony Robbins Mastery of Money. Or Money Mastery. I can't remember. It's something. If you put Tony Robbins Mastery of Money or something. One of the best things to do if you're just going to be general while you're trying to learn is like a Vanguard type deal. It's everybody will agree. I mean, Warren Buffett says it all the time. Take the best quote unquote minds of the day, the stock traders that think they're great. And he actually did this, and he put the same amount of money with this big mutual fund that was really great at trading stock, and he put the same amount of money into just a Vanguard deal, which is basically a portfolio made up of a group of companies. It's a lot lower fees and everything, and at the end of 10 years, these people are trading everything and all that. The Vanguard still equated on top at the end of 10 years. And Warren Buffett talked about, I can be the best picker in the world, but I'm still putting my money in the Vanguards because at the end of the day, that's the most safest and kind of the deal. So a Vanguard type of fund, usually the least amount of fees, and over a long period of time, because they have a good and what a Vanguard fund is, basically you take there's a fund that you're buying into that may have 50 companies in it, and so it may have Walmart and Exxon and companies been around forever.
Sure.
And so it's one of the most safest kind of calculated type of deals, and it takes the returns of all of that as an average. So you're not putting your money into just buying that American Airlines stock. You're putting your money into that, and so if some of those
like
companies
a mutual
go,
fund?
it basically is. That's all Vanguards are. They're
Okay.
just low-cost mutual funds.
Okay.
And they don't trade. There's not somebody sitting there trading, moving in and out. It's just based on them all.
Well, wouldn't somebody say, well, you gotta play big to win big, the bigger they are, right?
I agree. What I'm telling you, though, is while you're trying to learn, do something safe.
Yeah.
Once you get more knowledge, go big. Yeah, if you know something secret about it, whatever, I mean, I told my father-in-law, I said, hey, you need to buy Unum stock. Unum is the company that owns Colonial Life. I go, because we're really, as a company, we're ran very well. Leadership is solid. We are literally on a growth pattern that's crazy in a market that is continuing to rise. I go, you need to go buy Unum stock. He bought it, and he calls when I was at Christmas. He goes, man, it didn't went up by like $15 over the last 6 months since I bought it, and they're keeping on going. I go, yeah, so he bought that. But that was not a gamble.
Yeah.
He had intel of, look, they're solid. I actually knew somebody that worked there. So, I mean, I didn't give any secret insider trader.
Yeah, I was going to say, before we wrap this, I should probably say
I didn't give any insider trader stuff because it was purely just my feel of, I know the CEO and them, and I
You know the
personally
culture.
I know
the people
good.
are leading.
They're good people.
They're good people. They're
Right.
doing the
Yeah.
right things
Yeah.
by the company.
Which anybody
They're running
can
it
know.
responsibly, not taking
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
risks.
This is all advice. This is not actual insider
It's
information.
it's
None of
nothing,
this is legit.
It's nothing that not everybody already knows that's out there in public.
Disclaimer on the video,
Right.
just a running
Yes,
ticket.
it's just
Yeah,
that
just something at the bottom
I do personally know them. That's it. Because if you buy American Airlines and you don't personally know the CEO, then
You never
don't
know. Yeah.
So I would tell you that at the end of the day, whether it is stock market or anything else, whatever it is, you just got to know it. I mean, Josh, you said you've been doing the stock market for a while.
Yeah, since I was 18. The day I turned
Oh, wow.
18, I was allowed to.
You
to
were
do
ready to
stocks.
go.
Yeah, that was the day that I went out and I got myself a Roth IRA and did a couple of hand-picked companies that I already been kind of looking through, and I spent $1,000. I had $1,000 in cash, and I could do, buy, Coke and go out to the jalapeno tree in East Texas. Or
I waited tables at Jalapeno Tree too.
buy Coke?
That's where. That's it.
Yeah.
We both waited tables at Jacksonville Jalapeno Tree.
I think so.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
I
where you
did.
worked at too,
Yep,
right? I did
yep.
too. Yes.
You both waited tables at the
Yeah,
same
that's
restaurant.
where it is. That's where Chris
And
Sutter
look
was our
where
boss.
you are, and look where I am. Yeah.
Hey, Chris Sutter was our boss.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. I knew there was something that we had more interaction than
This is
we
wild.
thought about, and it was the
Yeah.
Jalapeno Tree in Jacksonville. I was
Oh,
15,
wow.
16.
Yeah, my mom brought that up. She said, yeah, he worked the jalapeno tree. He's like, all right, yeah, he did. But anyway, I went and did that, and that was my first kind of interaction. And it did not go well because I picked like a handful of companies, and none of them did. I did those solo companies,
Yeah.
and I learned what Heath was saying was to go out and pick some Vanguard, pick some mutual funds,
Uh-huh.
and that's what I do a lot. But then I have a cash account. I have a cash account that's when I see something, because I love to read about businesses. I love to read about companies,
Yeah.
the ebb and flow of the market. I love to read. And so when I saw, for instance, during the downturn in 2008, when Bank of America was at $2 or $3, I said, you know what? There's no way they're not going to bail them out.
Right.
So I know this is a good investment to get into, because if they don't bail Bank of America out, we're all in trouble.
We're all
Yeah,
doomed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when American Airlines went to like 25 cents or 20 cents a share, I knew they could go under. They could sell off their parts, but they're worth more than 20 cents a share.
Yeah.
So I bought, and the key is, if you're going to do that,
No,
have
you're
a
right.
selling point. So I was like, I'll be happy to get $1. It went to like $2.50 at one point in time, but I was still fine getting a 75,
Sure.
a 300% return on my buy. I was fine with that.
You me tell you what my problem's always been with the stock market? Because Now, you know what's interesting? I actually had a Series 6 and 63 license at one time. So I actually, was, and that's that's where I could actually, take your money and invest it for somebody else. So I know a little bit about the stuff. I mean, I got rid of them a long time ago when I figured out I made a lot more money in the insurance business and it was a lot less regulated than the other crap. Here's my problem with the stock market. Josh, if I buy my real estate, if I buy this house for X amount of dollars and it's renting out, and then all of a sudden there's a big factory goes around town or something and nobody's buying houses and real estate prices are dropping, right? I understand that. Like, I get that. I see what happened. This happened. People can't buy it. It's gone down. I'm fully aware that it'll come back up probably. But I understand that. Like, I lost value in that home because of XYZ. I see it.
Yeah.
I put my money in that stock. Say I buy American Airlines.
Sure.
$3. And it goes to $1. Where did that money go?
Well,
where did that go? Tell me where that $2 went. Where did my money go? Who's got it?
Into the value of the company.
Who's got it?
No one has it.
That's real money somewhere. It had to did it just magically disappear?
Okay, but like when you buy something, when you buy say a house, and that factory moves in, and your value of that house goes from $40,000 to $30,000. Where did that money go?
It's in the house. I see the house.
No, it's not, because now it's at 30.
No,
so it could go back up. So I still have that stock. I still have those shares.
Yes.
So the shares, I still have 35 shares of that stock. But as the value decreases, that's just what people will buy. That's all it is what people will buy to have yours. That's the value of it.
But if you sold it right then, you don't get the same money you put in. But so somebody's got it somewhere, correct?
No.
Well, where did
it's the value. It's just like the value of the house or the value of a car.
Same. It's just where you invest.
But
it's what you can sell it for.
Yeah, and I guess it's harder for me because it's like I can see and touch and feel a house.
It's tangible.
You know what I mean?
It's a real thing.
That's my problem.
But the common thread here is he started at 18 looking at stuff and understanding something that I don't understand.
Exactly.
Like he educated himself. He enjoyed reading about it. Same as for you. You looked at Zillow. You spent time just staring at the stuff, and something you learned something made sense. And so it'd be crazy for him to jump into real estate into a huge deal. Let me buy an $80,000 house tomorrow. Just like it'd be crazy for you to dump $80,000 into.
Well, what's hilarious
like
is if you talk about it, his first deal he had like $1,000 in there. He's playing with it, right?
Right.
My first house I bought was $40,000.
Yeah.
Okay. If the market went down tomorrow, I'm not going to go bankrupt over that, right? And if he lost his $1,000 tomorrow, he wasn't going to go. That's the biggest key is you don't want to go jump off into something you don't know. There are a lot of ways out there that you can do some very educated guess in it, but you have to stop educating yourself. In today's world, everybody thinks it's institutional education. You get out of your college and then you're done learning. That's BS. The real education is a lifetime of educating. You need to be a lifetime educate. You need to learn for a lifetime. Non-stop of it. And see, I was the one who never learned in school because I hated school, but I've learned since then. And stuff, the Tony Robbins, the Mastery of Money or something, I think it's Mastery of Money. You need to listen to that audio. If you listen to the audiobook or you read the book, I promise you it's some really good stuff in it. And I hope some of you take some more educated risk out there to start investing, growing your money in that way. Or, you know what, cash is king right now, too. Keep it and hold it because something's going to go and maybe you have your cash around. But, Joe, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram, JT Dream Chaser, Twitter, at Joel Toigo. That's Toigo. T as in Tom, G as in Goober. You can call me whatever you want, but that's where you can find me.
He said Goober. My pastor's listening, Joel.
Come on now.
Thanks for coming on, man. It was
I
great to have
here.
you. You have to come on in again on another time. And Heath Oaks are at Ignorance on Fire. You can look me up. I love y'all, and leave us a rate and review. Come on now.
Yeah, send us an email. Tell us what you thought of Joel.
Yeah.
If you like it.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, let us know.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Here we go.
See y'all guys next time.
Bye, y'all.
You're listening to RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.